And this is the KTNA, Summer Never Dies. Twins from Manchester. I'm a huge fan of them. Go and see them live if you can. When I saw them perform this song live, oh my goodness, I was crying. But I think I just cry a lot. I think like tears leave my eyes very easily. But I love it when it's tears that are moved by passion. That's what I love. And that's a similar situation I was in on Tuesday when I went to a red carpet premiere for a new short film written and directed by my first guest, who's an award-winning youth coach, speaker and filmmaker, Amani Simpson. And in 2019, he began writing the short film Save Me, addressing the need for contextualized safeguarding, and covers themes of grooming, exploitation and consequences and much more. And the film was commissioned by Enfield Council and will be played in schools and accompanied with an educational training pack to support young people facing these issues. Amani is now in the building to discuss more. Amani, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you feeling? Because the short film is out now.
Do you know? I feel blessed. I feel proud. Like as you said, it's been a long time coming. It's been it's been a journey. So
it has. Yeah. And I think it's important for us to also understand why. Yeah. Why you've dedicated a lot of years now to working with young people. And I had you on the show before a few years back as well. But let's just recap to anyone that's discovering you for the first time. Mm-hmm. Tell us a bit more about you and why you work in the field of working with young people and creating short films that are going to go into schools and all that.
So a lot of it stemmed off my own personal perspective. So when I was in school, I struggled a lot. I got bullied from year one and just really struggled with friendships and stuff, and just took me down a path of trying to fit in. And even though I'm from a really good household, really loving and nurturing environment, everything outside of my house wasn't as nurturing. And so a lot of the choices I was making was out of survival and just trying to get through every day. And so ended up getting expelled from secondary school, pupil referral unit, just becoming a real menace and causing havoc in my household and family and stuff. And ended up getting groomed into county lines when I was 15, going on to 16, after getting arrested and being in care for a little bit. And when I tell stories like this, it's because I can understand a lot of the challenges that young people are having, and also the fear and that kind of the conflict that they'll have when, you sometimes find yourself in situations that are really outside of your control and you don't want to be there. My story is slightly different, where I was able to get out when I wanted to, because something else happened with the person that had kind of sent me there, and I wasn't, no longer their issue. Turned my life around, went to college. I'm actually a college governor now. So I was, the college I went to when I came back was Big Creative Academy in Walthamstow. So I'm a governor there. Obviously, we always have to plug the college. But just ended up going down a road where I thought I was doing all right, but my mindset hadn't shifted. And so 2011, I got involved in someone else's argument outside of a nightclub and ended up getting stabbed. And you would have thought that after everything that I'd been through, life would have just been smooth sailing, but it just wasn't. And, I'm very blessed that I'm here. And this isn't my first short film. I made another short film called Amani, starring Javon Wade. He plays me, and it had a real big reception online. We did 1 million views in 4 days. We've had just under 4 million views now on Million Youth Media. And it's just given me a platform of being able to tell authentic stories that have hope, that are deep and gritty, but they have hope in them. And, it's trying to frame these real situations, but give young people that are going through that an option to see that things can be different. So
absolutely,
that's why I do it.
Well, firstly, thank you for doing what you do as well.
Thank you, sis.
Because also, lived experience is what is I think major key here. And you could also have every right to be like, I want to move on. I don't want to have to relive it. I don't want to have to. Do you know what I mean?
I did for ages, to be fair. I was an estate agent for. After I got stabbed, I was an estate agent. I ran a property consultancy firm. And I was just, I guess, making money for rich people. And then I always say, I realized that the rich people didn't really care about me. I was just another agent. Right. But then when I started working with young people, I realized they didn't know how rich they could be. And so that was a better investment in time. And so, now I do this full time. I've got a youth organization called Aviard, and this is what I do. So there's nothing else in the world I'd rather do, money or no money. This is the best feeling in the world to work with young people.
I love it.
Yeah.
But it's not easy. It's not easy. And so this film now, which is out on YouTube, called Save Me, and it focuses on the theme of exploitation, grooming. Why now? Well, why then 2019 that you started writing it? Why that particular issue as well about county lines?
So Enfield Council, big up Enfield Council, they commissioned me. We did a local project called Safer Families Towards Safer Transitions, which was all about early help and early intervention with families. And part of the legacy of that funding was to basically create like a training tool. And so they wanted to create like a DVD. I always told this story. They wanted to make a DVD, and I was just like, let's be honest.
Firstly, DVD. Do we have DVD players?
DVD, let's be honest, right? And so I upsold them, right? Because you have to upsell at times. And so I upsold them on a short film, and they found some other resources. And then, to be honest, I was only going to produce it because I'd produced my short film and got a director and a writer. But then lockdown happened, and I'm just like a nerd like that, where I'm just like, if I've got time to do it, let me just get into it. And so I just read a lot about writing and a lot about directing, and I had a really good team of people that just believed in the vision and know me, and so wanted to coach me. And so we worked with young people from Enfield, went to the youth club in Edmonton, Craig Park Youth Club, and just did some sessions with them and just said, this is the topic, tell us like some experiences, some perspectives. Then I just started writing out the story, and it's changed a lot, and I had some consultation from Aliyah Ali from Daddyless Daughters, an organization, and she just helped me to kind of really see that perspective of someone that had been through exploitation. And here we are, a few years later now. This is a film that has been made to the best of our ability, the highest quality that we can make it, and I'm just so happy that it's going to have an impact and speaking to the right people in advance of the film coming out, so that when it comes out, it's embedded. Yeah,
exactly.
That's it.
Because also, I'm happy you touched on just the research process of that as well. How long was that? Because firstly, you got to build trust with these young people. Do you know what I mean? Like, was this an area that you knew very well?
Yes.
Or
So I'd volunteered. So Craig Park was the youth club that when I first started to get into working with young people, I was volunteering there, and I was doing like lots of, like weekly, I was going there, being part of the team, like just listening to young people, building like real authentic relationships. So when I started to get a bit busier and couldn't commit every week, me going back there every so often and kind of saying, oh, I'm doing this, or here's an opportunity, they trusted me. Whereas I think if I'd just gone to do that, it would have been a bit harder to build that. But anyway, I was working with these young people that I'd seen kind of grow up over the 18 months prior to that. And it was, I knew the authentic feel of the youth club. So I was able to, when we even made the film, I recreated that. Where the youth club has changed slightly, it's now embedded in history what the vibe of the youth club was like, young people dancing, just, that environment. And so, it wouldn't have been the same without that kind of core relationship with the young people that I had at the time.
No. And also, because now obviously you want this film to have an impact and actually create change and instigate change, which I'm sure it will do as well. But let's talk about impact anyway. Yeah. So what's currently been done where maybe you feel like this is going to now add a new layer to it? Because there are early intervention schemes, but unfortunately there still are young people that are getting wrapped up in this kind of experience. So what do you think this short film is going to bring that's going to be new?
Do you know what? I think it's gonna take it from just being entertainment, or like, oh, that's happening over there, or this is oh, that's sad to hear that. It's gonna start conversations in spaces where maybe they haven't had the tools previously to have an authentic conversation. So the way I've written the film is that each of the scenes, each of the characters, each of the moments are deep. Like Christopher Nolan's one of my favorite writer directors. Anyone that's got a link, shout me. I'm trying to link up.
Let's make it happen.
100%. Come on, we can do it. But he's one of my favorite writer directors, and there's so much depth to what he does. Yeah. And so when I was writing it, I wanted to make sure that each of the characters, there's nuance, there's levels to it. And so when you're watching it, you might just say, okay, I get it. But when you unpack it, as we did at the premiere, how much was in that? And that was just one character. So I'm excited for people to just spend a few hours with the film and to talk about, who they might be within the film. Like, are they aiding a young
Yeah.
person getting involved? Are they potentially able to stop something from happening? What can we do in partnership with young people? And I just think that's never happened before.
Yeah.
Not on the scale that we're trying to do it. So, but big up those that have come before that paved the way. But
Yeah.
obviously now we've got YouTube and, you know, different strategies. I'm sure that we can build on what's happened before, you know.
So if you just tuned in now, I'm sat here with Amani Simpson. We're talking about his new film that's out now, Save Me. And it's an incredible film. I was at the premiere as well. And I don't want to give too much away about the story because I want people to actually watch it. But what I like, which you kind of touched on already, is that you do involve, you know, the perspective of girls in this. Because I think when we think of county lines sometimes, and I don't know the statistics, maybe it does affect more young boys than girls, but girls are still very much played a part in that. What kind of misconceptions do you think a lot of people have around the issue of county lines?
Yeah, I think you've named one. I think that it's mainly just a boy issue, you know, for young boys. I think it's everyone, even young people that have additional needs get caught up. There's stats around young people who have had you know, particular houses that have been given to them through, you know, care or whatever, and people have gone and taken over those houses because they see someone that's vulnerable. It's vulnerable young people and vulnerable people across the board that get caught up in you know, things like county lines and exploitation and just things that, you know, I wish our children didn't have to go through, or anyone. And having had that experience myself and been able to turn my life around, I just really wanted to shine light on it and make sure that you know, as much as I may not be able to change the whole thing, I can definitely make sure that the light is on there. We've created something that should be used widely now and
definitely
amplified. So,
because a word that popped up in my head when I was watching it was compassion, because I feel like there's a lot of films out now that might sensationalize a lot of these issues, where they might exaggerate the characters almost to the point where they're like caricatures of people, and they're not human anymore. They're not multi-dimensional. You don't see all the different things that they're dealing with. But the way you've gone about it is, like you said, it's those layers where it aids you to have a bit more compassion. But even for the wider community, now I don't want to give away too much. You need to go and watch it. But there's a brilliant moment in the film which highlights the importance of just wider community. What can the wider community do if you're maybe someone that you have no direct link to anyone that's involved in county lines or issues like this?
Do you know what? I think it's someone said it at the premiere. One of my brothers, Sace Holmes Lewis, he said, you know, it's about paying attention to the children that are in your life, being present for them, and then where possible, giving time for other people's children as well. That could be through volunteering. That could be if you are in a corporate space and you're able to bring young people in just to do a work experience day, or you know, it sounds so cliche, but the children are the future. And
but that's true though.
But it's one of those overused things that kind of sometimes loses its value. But it is exactly what it is. You know, if we don't invest in the young people now that are coming up behind us, we can talk and say, young people are stabbing, or young people are... Like, I'm working on a project at the moment called the Amani Project with Goldman Sachs. It's the second year that we've done it. And our target is young people that need a second chance. And for us, it's not about... Goldman Sachs and Hogan Lovells and Mentivity, let me big up the whole team. It's not about the young people that are necessarily on that graduate route. It's those that they're not going to walk into a corporate building anytime soon, but we bring them in there, we give them mentorship, and we just connect on a human level. And I think if you can create spaces where you can just connect with young people, not because you want something from them, but because you want to give them something, and in the future they will come back and be part of organizations or add to society. Those are the kind of things that we need to be doing now. So,
definitely. And people can start by watching the film.
Yeah, 100%.
So where do we actually go to watch the film? So
it's on the Enfield Council website. So enfield.gov.uk/Save Me Film, where you can get the resource. You can see the film. You can see some of the behind the scenes of the project as well. I should have an announcement in the next couple of days about, just amplifying it a little bit further. But for now, 100%. Just everyone head to the Enfield Council website, check out the resources. It's meant to be used. We want organisations, community groups, teachers, anyone that just has access to young people or is talking about how we can safeguard young people in different contexts, the film's for you. And it was made with love. So excited for people to watch it.
So where do we go to follow you to maybe keep updated on the announcements?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram, so amani.simpson, AMANI.simpson, or my website, amanisimpson.com. And yeah, I'm pretty open, especially in this space now where, I'm trying to connect with those that are able to move this forward. I'm also building a productivity app for young people. So that's the next thing. Once this film's kind of moving forward and rolling, and the next thing is to get into tech and to help young people with, really just having hope for the future and some structure to their day. So also willing to connect with people on that. And
rest at some point.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm looking forward to summer. I'm going to be outside, but I just became a father, so I'm...
Congratulations.
Thank you. So
congratulations.
I'm looking forward to just spending time with my wife and my baby girl. And
so I don't know if rest is going to be there then.
No, it is.
Okay,
good. Man. Come on, man.
Good.
Come on, yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know, but a lot of people tell me sleep is a thing of the past when you have kids.
It is, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like... It just feels like it's just love, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
not to say you don't feel tired, but I'd rather feel tired because I'm raising my child, do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Rather than stressing about other people's business, do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So.
It's true. Right, cool. Before I let you go, I want to ask you just one question because you do have lived experience in this. And the thing is also, and I think it's so important that you highlight as well that you came from a good home, because a lot of people like to assume it's, it's the parents, it's all this, but it's so many external factors. But what do you think you would have needed then that may have changed things for you?
I think there's two things. I think my family weren't able to access maybe like your social services and stuff because they didn't hit the threshold. And so I think a lot of the time I probably fell through the cracks because no one saw me as like a high risk priority. I think also at the same time there was like a lot of stereotyping and my reputation went before me. And so my parents didn't really get a lot of support. I think a lot of the parents used to speak about my mum and my dad rather than saying, actually, what do you need? And I think the other thing is as well, is I needed hope back then. I needed, like, as much as my dad and my mum are amazing role models, they're a little bit too close for me. Like, in terms of they're the people that are going to, discipline me at the same time as I'm trying to look up to them. Like, you're annoying me. I'm not trying to hear nothing about nothing that you're trying to tell me.
Yeah,
exactly.
What I mean? Like, you're grounded.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, and I'm meant to find you an inspiration. Like, you're a chief right now. Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Big up mum and dad before I get cussed. But I think having hope and having... Like, I know role models, again, is another trigger, like buzzword that everyone uses, but having people that you can look up to are like, right, that person's got an edge. That person has a little bit of, like, they've got a swagger about them. They're cool. They've done something and they're progressing in their life, which is why I try to be the person that I am today, because I'm trying to be that person that I needed to see when I was younger. And trying to do things on the biggest level that I can, not because of ego, but because I know that people need to see it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about fame or celebrity and all that stuff. It's just, if a young person can see me and not give up or believe that it's possible, then let's go. Let's do what we need to do. Do you know what I mean?
And you're doing that as well.
So.
Well, thank you again for coming and joining me this evening. I hope you do rest.
Yeah.
I want to big up the whole cast and crew as well.
Big up the cast and crew. Big up everybody involved, man.
And make sure you go and watch it. What's it called again?
Save Me.
Yes.
Search Save Me Film on YouTube. Save Me Short Film on YouTube, and it will come up.
Yes. Love that.